Today, we're going to look at the die grinder. Now, there's lots of different options out there as they come in light duty and heavy duty, or even straight or 90. And this all depends on what you're going to be using it for. If you're going to be doing lots of material removal, then I recommend getting a heavy duty one and one that's either corded or pneumatic. This is the one that I keep around the house. It's just a little M12. It does most of the jobs that I need it to, and it will even remove a good chunk of material before the battery dies. But if I'm going to be using it for a long period of time, then I'll upgrade to a heavy duty one. Another thing to note is the speed setting on it. This one you can see is right here, and the control on it. So some have a trigger control and some even have foot control. The last thing that you want to look for is the shank size. So they can come in 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch. This one is 1/4 of an inch, which fits this carbide burr set, which is one that I recommend picking up if you're getting a die grinder. So if you're going to be removing material along with this carbide burr set, you can use a cutting wheel. And if you're doing this, then either find a guard or have a face mask and gloves, as these cutting wheels do like to crack or explode since they're moving at very high RPMs and they're so thin. If you need to polish material, you can get sanding discs, or you can even get buffing and polishing discs, and a wire wheel. The wire wheel is one that you definitely want to be careful with too, as it loves to throw those little wires out, and before you know it, you'll have a handful of wires. So once you find the bit that you need, there's a couple different ways to actually put it in. Most of them are the same, but it's either going to be 2 wrenches or a lock button. This one here, you can see that I need to use 2 wrenches, but on this one here, you can see that there's a lock button right here. And before you go to use it, note the rotation, as you want to actually go against it, or at least know which way it's going to be pulling if you set it down, because you don't want it to jump out of your hands. Or these things are notorious for kickback, and start slow and very light and then slowly add more pressure. They seem to like to jump around, and no matter how much anchoring you do or feathering of the trigger, they're just a pain sometimes. So that's all I've got for the die grinder. There's not much to them, but they are extremely useful tools, and something that if you pick up, I can guarantee you're going to be using it a lot more than you expected. But thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video and possibly learned something new, and I'll see you in the next one.